At Sundog, we offer 4 levels of obedience testing. Our entry level is the bronze level, which is the handout that you currently have. There's an explanation and a diagram, and all of our tests have diagrams with explanations, and they can be had on at our website, or you can call me if you are need information or you're confused. But in this particular Bronze Star obedience test, you would start here with your dog. You need to demonstrate the ability to walk 200 feet outdoors. You have to demonstrate a right turn, a left turn, a left turn, and a right turn, and then you have to pass 2 honor dogs to complete the first leg of your healing. And that is all pretty much explained on this sheet under healing, and it's worth a total of 20 points, and you can see the breakdowns on the turns and the actual heel. But it is a 200-foot distance. The next leg of the test are the sits. You're going to go back down, and each one of these yellow triangles represents a flag, a yellow flag that would be in the ground. Okay. At each flag, and they're spaced 20 feet apart, there's 10 of them, you have to demonstrate a sit. What am I looking for in the sit? I'm looking for the dog's toes, when he's seated, his front legs to be pointed in the same direction that your toes are pointed in. In other words, you're both going in a straight parallel line. I'm looking for his butt to be tucked in, not kicked out. If you've trained him in such a fashion where you have to say to him sit at every time at every flag, I'm fine with that, okay? But if you have to tell him to sit 2 times at one flag, because he doesn't sit on the very first time, I'm going to deduct a point for the second sit. Now, if you hit the very first flag and you say sit, and the next 3 or 4 flags you say sit, okay, then the last 4 or 5 flags you're not saying sit and he's sitting, I got a real problem there, okay? Because it tells me on the last 4 or 5 flags, he actually knows he's been trained to sit automatically without hearing the word, but you were warming him up in here. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go back and deduct 1 point off of every one of those because you changed it in midstream. So if I don't care how you train him, it doesn't matter to me because we all train differently. But if you're going to say sit at the first flag, you better damn well say sit for the 9 after that. Okay? If you say nothing at the first flag and you get 4 or 5 flags down and he misses one and you have to say sit, I'll deduct 1 point on that flag. Okay? So it's your choice, once again, how you go about handling that. You don't have to train specifically. Either one will work, but you can't combine the 2. All right. Then at the next leg, you would be coming upbound again. There'll be 5 red flags spaced at 20 feet apart. At each red flag, your dog must demonstrate a down. And once again, the down, he needs to be parallel to the line that you're walking. He can't be laying across your feet. His toes don't necessarily have to be perfectly pointed out in front because a lot of the dogs, hip dysplasia, arthritis, they may not down in that Sphinx real smart down. Okay, they may have what sometimes referred to a lazy down, but that's the best down they can give you because of health reasons. I'm okay with that. I'm not going to deduct either way. But the minute he's laying behind you or he's laying in front of you, then I have to start deducting points, okay? But as far as whether he's laying on his side or laying with his paws and legs underneath him, that's not a real big factor for me. But once again, if you're giving multiple commands, every time you open up your mouth and say down, I'm deducting another point. You're allowed 1 down command if that's the way you've taught it. Most people probably have. So I hear a down, he downs, that's perfect. I hear a second down, just lost 1 point. All right, so you complete that leg, you move up. Now There's still 4 more red flags ahead of you, and you're going to leave your dog at the cone on a sit. You're going to go to the first red flag. You're going to turn and 10 seconds and just stand there and watch your dog. 10 seconds later, I'm going to have you go to the second flag and turn, face your dog for 10 seconds. Then I'm going to tell you to go to the third flag, and at that third red flag, you will wait 15 seconds. Then I'm going to tell you to go to the fourth red flag, and you're going to go and wait an additional 15 seconds there. And then I'm going to tell you to return to your dog. At the point where you're at that fourth red flag, you are now 100 feet away from him. So now you will walk back to your dog. Each one of those is worth 5 points. If in order to get all 20 points, you have to successfully return back to your dog. If on the way back to the dog, he breaks and runs to you, I will take the 5 points off of the last flag. But you will receive full points for the first 3 flags before that. So if you look at the diagram, I hope that that's self-explanatory. The final leg of this is that you're going to move them over to this cone, okay? You're going to leave them on a down and a stay. You're going to walk 100 feet to the other cone. You're going to turn and recall your dog back to you. That is worth 20 points. To finish, he can either run in front of you and sit, or he can run around into a heel position and sit. Your choice. It makes no difference to me, but if he runs 35 feet beyond you, I'm deducting some points. That's not exactly a real good finish, okay? But as long as you can demonstrate some version of finish where he's within 5 feet of you, I'm good with that, okay? I think you all understand that. So in order to pass this test, you have to get 80% of this correct. All right, 80% of it. The test, if you add up the points, comes to 100 points. So 80% is passing. And I will tell you this, a lot of people can nail all of this in here. One of the hardest ones is the 10 second, 10 second, 15 second, 15 second. So if you lose 20 points there on that, if it doesn't work at all for you, and that's where a lot of people seem to have a problem with it, you've got to absolutely nail the rest of this to get the 80. Or if you nail all of this, the other 20 pointer is this stay and the recall at 100. So if he blows it on that, you would have had to have nailed the rest of it, okay? So kind of keep that in mind. And upon successfully completing that, you would receive a Bronze Star title, okay? And it will be numbered. We keep track of them as to, which number you are, 95, 98, wherever you are on the list, and your score is recorded and we keep it. And then your dog will receive a Bronze Star. So that's what you get for completing the Bronze Star test.